We're now in the present time of the story and everything is unfolding at a fast pace. We now know that all important characters have now been reincarnated. As the shaman predicted, everyone's fate is intertwined with Hwal. His father is reincarnated as a deadbeat detective. So was the soldier that betrayed him, who is also a detective. The shaman is helping him along the way as a butcher. His wife is reincarnated as Min San Eun. All the pieces are now in play, but we're not even halfway through the series yet, so we're still anticipating many twists and turns along the way.
One thing's for sure, there are two Bulgasals, and Hwal is the sword that can kill the other. There's something mysterious about Min San Eun and the fact that Occulte can't touch her. What is this dark hole? Who is this blonde kid? Let's recap episodes 5 and 6 and dive a little bit deeper into some theories and possibilities moving forward.
What's up, Sunday fams? Welcome back to another video. My name is Flip.
I'm Element.
And we get together each and every week to catch up to some of our favorite Asian dramas on Mondays and Tuesdays and K-pop related content on Thursdays and Saturdays. And so if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell so you know when we post new videos.
Also, like the video. So we've been away, and I hope you guys have had a lovely holiday with your friends and family. We're all gaining a little bit of holiday weight, but we're finally back, and we're back to talk about Bulgasal episode 3, 4, 5, and 6. Well, we're just gonna bring you up to speed at what's going on in the current 2 episodes that released this weekend. So let's get started.
So now we have 2 Bulgasals. That is like the fact right now.
I thought he was gonna say, now we have 2 balls.
2 balls. So there's apparently like the dark hole guy, like Occulte, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Like he's also a Bulgasal, but I'm curious to know the original Bulgasal, which was Min San Eun, and her relationship with this other Bulgasal. Can we just call him Dark Hole? Dark Hole and Min San Eun, what were their history and what was their relationship?
Yeah, because it seems like as Hwal meets Occulte or Dark Hole, he's like, she's indebted to me too. So what is their history, as Flip mentioned? And a lot of this mythology, a lot of this fantasy is starting to sound a lot like vampires at this point, because they feed on blood. Hwal feeds on animal blood and Occulte feeds on human blood, and he's clearly the stronger of the two. Whenever they had that conversation about, I've been walking this earth a lot longer, I'm just like, wow, this is like the 1,000-year-old vampire versus the 600-year-old vampire. This is crazy.
Yeah, and they were talking in that conversation while he was enjoying a piece of steak. It looked really bloody, but I would probably enjoy that as well. He also mentioned something in the realms that they are like humans too, because humans hunt other humans. So I really wonder what happened. There could have been like a family of Bulgasals or a hierarchy of Bulgasals, and somehow, some way, something went wrong, and they're the only 2 left.
Yeah, and the additional thing that sounds more like vampires is that the more you feed on human blood, the more you lose your humanity. And Hwal has been surviving all of these centuries feeding on animal blood, and he seems to have retained some of that humanity that he has left.
Now that takes us to a little bit of a theory. We're not quite sure because we don't know the full details. Is in the past, when Min San Eun stabs Hwal and has some kind of curse, transfers her soul over to her body, he in turn stabs her with the scar on her shoulder. What does that all mean? Because that is when Hwal becomes the sword that can kill the Bulgasal. And so, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so the current theory I have present in my mind, well, I don't really have a theory for Occulte, but in terms of Hwal and Sang Eun, I think that Occulte was the original Bulgasal that killed Hwal's family, and Sang Eun, that iteration of Bulgasal, just showed up and tried to kill him, but it turned out to be Hwal and just stole his soul. And so when Hwal stabbed her in the shoulder with that scar, that kind of bonded them by their curse, or by his original curse, right? Because he was originally cursed by the Bulgasal.
Yes.
And then now she took his soul, and he like created this bond between them, and throughout the ages, you know, they're intertwined.
Yeah, and that kind of brings me to what I've been thinking. I agree that it might have been the original Bulgasal or Dark Hole himself that killed his family, but I feel like she's been playing the long game for quite some time, because Hwal was born into this curse, and she might have started that curse. She might have had like a long game plan of planning it out, of intertwining or binding her soul with Hwal so that she can find a way to defeat the original vampire, I guess.
Yeah.
And so now take us to present time. They are together. Min San Eun gets kidnapped by the water monster. They're called Turuksan or something like that. Hwal is just so weak. Like, how is he ever going to beat this guy?
Well, beyond the fact that Occulte is much more older than him, he feeds on human blood, which means that Bulgasal gets stronger the more human blood they devour and the more humanity they lose. In comes my theory on Min San Eun, where I originally said that she was going to sacrifice herself and give up the soul to Hwal and end the cycle, and that was going to be the end of it. But apparently they introduced another Bulgasal. So we have to adjust our theories. And so my current theory now is that Min San Eun is going to willingly feed him her blood, and there's going to be something special about that blood because it's intertwined with his soul and the curse, and it's just going to be like this like G fuel energy blood that once he ingests it, it's going to be a lot more powerful than just regular old blood that Occulte drinks.
I think the combination between the two of them is going to be what it takes to beat him, because he can't touch her. He like somehow like starts regurgitating dark blood every time he's closer or he's touching her. And so there could be a moment where, yes, I agree with you, like I think she gives him his blood, he gets a little bit stronger, he gets a little bit more powerful, but in that moment, now we're only in episode 6 and there's like 8 more to go, right? So we don't know what it's all going, we don't know what's going to happen.
10, right?
So yeah, 10 more episodes to go. But like I feel like in that moment, in that pivotal moment, there's gonna be a period where he starts to feel like he can't do anything because he's touching her, and Hwal has enough power to beat him.
There's a peculiar scene where he is dreaming of her straddling, I mean not straddling him, but in bed
so
with
much
him,
sexual tension.
in bed with him, you know, trying to choke him. And something's happening, whether or not he is absorbing or she is absorbing. Like there's some kind of like energy transfer happening, whichever direction it's going. And I feel like coupled with your theory that she could be the key to him defeating him outside of, you know, the giving of the blood. I think that she could also transfer some power to him. Maybe the power of the dark hole into Hwal, so that Hwal can like, you know, boom,
the power of the
activate the dark hole.
Now that's interesting because she doesn't have a scar.
Yes.
You know, her sister died with the scar, and so I have no idea what that means. It just kind of makes sense that he wouldn't kill her because she's a different person, even though she kind of like inherited part of the soul or part of the blood because she was in the same womb as their twin sister. But I think that just kind of makes it make a little bit more sense that their romance is going to start to develop.
One thing is for sure, it is in fact his soul, because all of the monsters recognize the smell of the soul. I mean, she might not be the soul in which he is looking for, the soul with the scar and the soul of the old Bulgasal that you know, allegedly killed his family, but she is in fact the carrier of his soul, and that's why he can't kill her just yet. But let us know what you think in the comment section below. Give us all of your theories as to how this is going to end. How is he going to get as powerful as he needs to defeat Occulte? And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell icon, share, do all of that good stuff to help us out. But as always, this is what we're watching this Sunday. We'll see you next time.